Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, have you ever been doing homework or taking a quiz and you see a question that says, "Hey, dudette, what is the equation of the line that matches this graph, has these 2 points, has this point in the slope, or is parallel or perpendicular to this other line, has this other information?" And you go, huh? If so, this is the video for you. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to graph the equation of a line if you are given 2 points, a point and a slope, another graph, another equation, and you're told it's parallel, perpendicular, something like that. So this is the video for you. Let's get to it, shall we? Now, before tackling this kind of thing, you have to have a couple of key concepts in the forefront of your mind. These are the ideas that you're going to be using. They're going to help you guide your decision making so that this will become easy, right? So first of all, let's talk about the kinds of equations we are discussing. We are discussing linear equations. That means that the x has an exponent of 1, which you will never see. And that's really important because that means all of the solutions are going to form a line. They're all going to line up. That's why they're called linear equations, and typically they're written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. It's called slope-intercept form because the slope is the coefficient of x, and the y-intercept is just that number b. The reason that's the y-intercept is because all y-intercepts have an x value of 0. So if this is 0, it doesn't matter what the slope is. It's going to be y equals b. Boom, done. All right, now, last piece of information to keep in the forefront of your mind, the last concept is what a graph is. A graph is a picture of all the solutions to an equation. So a solution is a value, like this is negative 2, 0. There's some equation that has a solution negative 2, 0 and 1, 2 and negative 1, 2 that is, and negative, I don't know, like 1.5 and 2.5, something like that, whatever that turns out to be. All of the points on this line, all of the coordinates, every x and y, you should be able to plug into the equation and get something that's true. That's what the graph is. It's a picture of all the solutions, okay? So now, let's talk about graphing an equation, because what you're doing is, in a way, kind of backwards from that. If you don't know how to graph equations of a line very well, this is not the video for you. You're not ready for this yet, but let's do this. Ready? So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at this equation and say, hey, what's the y-intercept? Which is going to be 6. Man, 0, 6, that's right here. So you're just going to put a dot right there, 0, 6, and then you count your slope. This slope is negative, so you're going to go down and right or up and left. So you're going to go down 2, right? So you're going to go down 2, so it's going to be down 1, down 2, and then you're going to go over to the right, 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to conecta los puntos, you're going to connect the dots, and boom, you are done. Now here's the deal. Every single point on this line is a solution to this equation. So for example, if you're like, hey, what happens when x is 6? You can see and you can go and say, oh, well, when x is 6, y is 2. And you should be able to plug those values in. So x is 6 when y is 2. Well, that's true because you can reduce this. 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. It's negative 4, right? Because it's negative times positive. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. That is true. Boom, you are done. All right, so now, when you're being asked to write the equation of line, you're doing that kind of backwards, right? So you're being given a graph and you're being asked, hey, what is the equation of this line? What you're going to need for every single one of these questions, regardless of whether it's a graph, 2 points, a point and slope, another line, whatever, what you're going to need every single time is you're going to need the y-intercept and you're going to need the slope. You're going to need those two values, so you got to find them. And the information you're given are just clues. So for example, this one, which we just did, well, you see that b is equal to 6, right? And then you can, of course, count down, right? And then to the right. So the rise is negative 2, and the run would be 3. So your slope is negative 2/3. So that's exactly how you're going to do it. Now, when you're doing these, there's typically 4 types of questions you're going to encounter. You've got to be familiar with all 4 of them. So check this out. The first one is they're going to give you a graph. Or they might give you a single point and a slope. Maybe they'll just give you 2 points, or they might give you another equation and then a point and tell you, hey, the line you need is either going to be parallel or perpendicular to the equation they gave you. So let's talk about each of these 4, shall we? So let's say they give you a graph, right? Okay, let's talk about if they give you a graph. So what you got to do is you got to find the slope. And the way you do that is you just count. You find where the graph crosses at 2 lattice points. Make sure you've got the sign right. If it's going up from left to right, it's positive. If it's going down from left to right, it's negative. And then you find the y-intercept just by looking. And then that's it. You just write those values in where they belong for the m and the b, and you're done. So let's do an example. Now, we've seen this one right here. Let's go ahead and talk about this one, right? So first of all, this has a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. Okay, but we're going to count the slope by counting from consecutive lattice points. Now, for example, this right here, from here to here is a rise of 2, and it's a run of 1. So this has a slope of 2. But let's say you didn't count from those 2 points. You still get the same exact slope. So check this out. That is a rise of 4 and a run of 2. Just make sure you reduce. Just reduce. Still have a slope of 2. So now, we got a slope of 2. So all we've got to do is look and see what the y-intercept is. It's 4. So all you got to do is just plug that stuff in, right? If you're not sure, you can plug in. So here's our equation, y equals 2x plus 4. If you're not sure if that's right, what you can do is you can pick another point on the line and plug it in. So like, for example, -3, -2 is over here. That's on the line. So I should be able to plug those values in. I should be able to put -2 for y, -3 for x, do the math. If it's right, if my answer is right, that's going to be true. That's it right there. Boom, done. Find your slope. Find your y-intercept, write your equation. Now, if you're given a point and a slope, well, here's the deal. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that that point is not your y-intercept, because if it is, it's super, super easy. Like this one right here, m equals, the slope is 2/3, and they give you the 0.08, so x is 0. That is the y-intercept. So this one's super easy. You just need m and b, and they give them both to you right here. M is 2/3, and b is 8, so boom, you're done. Most of the time, it's not that easy, like this one. Still the same question. They give you a slope, they give you a point, and they ask you to figure out what's the equation of the line. So what you're going to do is you're going to plug this information into y equals mx plus b. Now, there's another way. It's called point-slope formula, but we're going to save that for later, because for our applications here, this is the easiest, most quick way, and I like it because it's not a new formula. It just ties into what we know slope-intercept form is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug in the values where they fit. So this is m. It's the slope. It goes right there. Now, we know that this point is on our graph. So those are 2 values we can plug in. That's x. That's why. Just be careful. What a lot of people do is they put 8 here and 2 here, because 8 goes first, right? But 8 is x. So plug in those values, right? Where they fit, where they belong. Make sure you're careful with that. Now, a lot of times you have a fraction, so you have to reduce. Sometimes it doesn't reduce all the way. You're left with a fraction, but that's all right. You can handle that, right? So 8 and 4 reduce to 2. 2 times -5 is -10. 8 plus -10 is -2. You could add 10 to both sides if you want. Same way. You get that the y-intercept is 8. So what you have is y equals -546 plus 8. Boom, you are done. So once again, if you have a point and a slope, you're going to plug your slope and the xy into slope-intercept form, and you're going to solve for b, write your answer, boom, you're done. All right, now, what if they give you 2 points? This one has the most amount of work, but it's not that bad. And sometimes they give you a y-intercept like this right here. 0.6 is the y-intercept. So this one's going to be kind of easy, but here's what we're going to do. First, we have to find the slope using the formula. So you plug everything in, right? So 6 minus 2 and 0 minus -8. So just be careful of your signs. Make sure you reduce. That's 1/2, right? And then you just pick one of the 2 values and you plug it into slope-intercept form. So we know the slope is 1/2, and then you just pick whichever one's easier. If there's a 0, use that. Actually, you don't even need to do this step. You can just write the 6 right here, because this is b right here, because I know this is b because x is 0. But let's say you didn't recognize that. So 6 is y, 0 is x. 0 times 1/2 is 0. b equals 6. Just make sure you write your answer. Every single time, though. No matter what information they give you, you're looking for the slope and you're looking for the y-intercept. Make sure you write your answer. Boom, you're done. So let's get on to the last one. If they give you another equation and they tell you, hey, this is parallel or it's perpendicular, here's what you're going to do, right? First thing you're going to do is you're going to find your slope. Now, because our line is either parallel or perpendicular, and they give you a line that is parallel or perpendicular to, you can use one of these 2 facts to figure out the slope of your line. Parallel lines have slopes that are equal. So if ours was parallel, which it's not, it's perpendicular, but if it was parallel, our slope would be -2. If it's perpendicular, your slope is an opposite reciprocal. That means opposite sign. So this one's negative, so our slope's going to be positive, opposite sign. And the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our slope of 1/2 because it's perpendicular. And then we have to use this point right here. Now this is not a y-intercept, this is an x-intercept. So we have to plug these values in, 4 for x, 0 for y, 0 for y, 4 for x. Slope is 1/2, 2. So the y-intercept is -2. Make sure you write your answer. Y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Boom, you are done. There's all 4 ways, quick and easy. And I hope this was helpful. I know it was a crash course. Man, got it done quick. You guys are awesome. Have a good day.